The British were anxious to learn as much as possible about Walter's radical aircraft. But they needed someone skilled enough, and perhaps crazy enough, to take them into the air. Test pilot Eric Brown was the ideal man for the job. A legend in aviation, Brown has flown more types of aircraft than anyone else in history. When he arrived at the abandoned German airfields, he was amazed by what he found.
It was like walking into Aladdin's cave as regards advanced aircraft. The airfields we visited were mostly in a state of chaos, but the strange thing was, much to our astonishment, they had not touched any of their advanced jet or rocket aircraft. Now, my only explanation for this is that they were so proud of their achievements in this sector that they wanted us to see what was available, what might have been.
Brown came face to face with one of the strangest looking aircraft in the German Luftwaffe, the Messerschmitt 163, with its rocket engine designed by Walter.
It was an airplane that made the adrenaline flow, certainly exuded a great challenge to fly. It had a number of revolutionary, innovative features. It had swept wings, but above all, it was rocket-powered, and it landed on a skid.
The aircraft's detachable wheels were jettisoned on takeoff to save weight. This meant landing would be a hairy experience. Brown could see his test flight was going to be exhilarating and dangerous.
The rocket that Walter designed for that aircraft was a very clever piece of engineering. It was small, it was light, and it was powerful. But because it used an explosive mix of fuels, two substances, C stuff and T stuff, that when mixed together essentially explode and power the rocket, it was known by its pilots as a flying bomb.
The two fuels combined to produce 8 minutes of rocket power. The plane could climb 20,000 feet in under 2 minutes, perfect for launching surprise attacks on enemy bombers. The pilot sat in a cockpit surrounded by rocket fuel. It was not a plane for the faint-hearted. More than 10 German pilots had died attempting to fly the 163. Most were killed during takeoff or landing. But the dangers didn't seem to worry Eric Brown.
I was encouraged to have a go at this. And there was nobody around to stop us. That was the real thing. We had our opportunity. We did it when the country was in a state of chaos. There was no real authority around, and we could get away with what we were doing. The noise really was ear-splitting. And one felt, as you sat in this, with this aircraft rocking under this power, it was like unleashing an atom bomb, I think. And I think one has to say you felt a little apprehensive about what was lying ahead, but the temptation was so huge to have a go at this thing.
Brown became the first and only Allied pilot to fly the rocket-powered plane.
It was rather like being in charge of a runaway train. I felt, and I'd never had this feeling with any other airplane, that it was a jump ahead of me all the time. I was catching up with it. It really took your breath away.